Coming up this afternoon, Pressure Group Arise Ghana suspends U.S. Embassy picketing after submitting a petition for the immediate extradition of Ghana's former finance minister. Also this hour, mixed reactions as wife of late former MP for Ayawaso East constituency, Hajia Amina McNaza, formally declares her intention to succeed her late husband. Plus this hour, 2 members of the Lankwantanan Medina Assembly Task Force sustained knife wounds from pedestrians who resisted attempts to use the Zango Junction footbridge. It's News Central live on TV3. I'm Kemeni Amano. We start right now. Now, widow of the late Member of Parliament for Ayawaso East constituency, Hajia Amina Adam, has formally declared her intention to contest the NDC parliamentary primary, which was declared vacant following the demise of the MP of the area. In a press statement signed and issued on January 22nd, 2026, Hajia Amina said she decided to present herself for the party's primary after consultations with community leaders, party members and residents of the constituency. She said the decision follows weeks of reflection after the passing of her husband, the former MP, on January 4, 2026, describing the period as one of personal loss for her and her children. Now, we know that Hajia Amina Adam is not the only one throwing her hat in the ring. Besides her, we also know a former Member of Parliament, Baba Jamal. He was former Member of Parliament for Akwatia constituency in 2012, lost that seat to Amase in 2016. He has thrown his ring into the race as well as far as the parliamentary primary for the NDC is concerned. So here he is. He's currently Ghana's High Commissioner to Nigeria. He himself a legal practitioner. He says it is a homecoming for him. There is Najib Mohammed Sani, Dr. Yakubu M. Azindo, and then Hajia Amina. So far, the headlines have been around Baba Jamal and Hajia Amina. Remember also that the primary is just around the corner, and it would appear that as far as this race is concerned for the Ayawaso East NDC primary, these are the 2 front runners, Hajia Amina, Baba Jamal. Now, let's talk about them, right? Let's do that now. Hajia Amina Adam, going into the race as widow of the late Member of Parliament for Ayawaso East, Nasir Ture Mahama. She has officially declared her intention. If you listen to constituents, particularly in the largest area, Nima, they talk about how she herself is a politician in her own standing. And it's not because her husband died or her husband was a politician she's entering the race. She herself is very widely known in the area, particularly in Nima, where many of those we have spoken with already say she is the woman for the job. Then there is also Baba Jamal. Remember, we spoke about Baba Jamal. But we've also seen that Hajia Amina will not be the first woman to throw her hat in the ring after the demise of her husband, which is what I want to show you now. Remember this woman? She was, well, perhaps we shouldn't mention that because apologies have been said. We'll leave it at that. But she's the wife of slain Infansiman MP Ekokonsa Hayford. She resigned from the Ghana Police Service to contest the seat on the NPP's ticket and won the 2020 general elections. Ophelia Mensah Hayford. Then we have Lydia Akan Vareba Lamisi, widow of the late David Adakudugu, former NDC MP for Tempanek. She contested the 2020 parliamentary elections and won, replacing her husband in that constituency. And yes, this is the woman I'm talking about, Lydia Sarah Malhassan, 2019-2020. Remember the controversy that surrounded her contest in the Ayawaso West Wuogon constituency. Her husband, Emmanuel Tremantin Ejako, died. She won the by-election in 2019, retained the seat in 2020 general election, lost it in 2024. Now the member of parliament for that area is John Dumelo, the deputy agric minister. So that's a list of women who have contested election, won the election after the death of their husbands. Linda Obenewa Akwele Oklu, Greater Accra Regional Minister, widow of the late NDC parliamentary candidate for Shai Osudoku, Desmond William Oklu, who died in a car crash. She contested the 2016 election and won. We go as far back as 2000, 26 years ago. Widow of the NPP candidate for Esutufi South, Professor Philip Kofi Ajabing Amwa, contesting and winning the seat in the 2000 general elections. Ismail Abdul Razak, a special aide to the widow of the late MP, is joining us for a bit more on this story. We know, Ismail, thank you so much for your time. We know that Haji Amina has thrown her hat in the ring. She will be contesting in that primary, hopefully winning as well. But what informed her decision at this time?
Thank you very much, and good afternoon to your viewers and our viewers. My name is Ismail Abdurazak, as you rightly said. I am the aide to the former MP and still to the woman contesting. It is not a decision to contest. It is the decision of the community to allow her to contest. Immediately when the husband died, the whole community gathered to call for her to come and contest. As I'm speaking to you now, tomorrow, the assembly members, upon their promise, will go and pick the nomination form for her to come and contest. So it is not the idea of Ajia Amina to contest, but the decision of the community and the NDC police who are calling her to come and contest and continue the good work of the husband who died last month.
There are those who think that is too soon and indeed are really against women inheriting seats, which is starting to become a norm. What do you say to those people?
For women to lead, I have my own issue with that, and I strongly believe if they are qualified, they're supposed to lead, and they deserve to lead. When you go to Pakistan is an Islamic country, but their first elected prime minister who led Bhutto, if you do remember, who led Pakistan in 1988 to 1990, and again 1993 to 1996. She was the first woman elected to head a democratic government in a Muslim majority country. So it tells you women can lead. And based on what people are calling this woman to come and deliver, I strongly believe she will come and lead the community to where it belongs to.
I see. So now that she has announced herself a potential for the parliamentary primary for the NDC, what next? What are her plans?
I think she will be, those who advise her to take the nomination form has also promised her they will be campaigning on her behalf. She will be observing the waiting period Islamically as Islam demands in the house. she is going to pay the last respect to her late husband, which she will do as Islamic demand. But those who encourage her to contest, which is the constituents or the populace within our NDC, are going to take the nomination form, campaign for her, and sure by 7th February she will be the winner. And I want to state this: if you are the most qualified among Islamic teaching, if you are the most qualified, you are allowed to lead. You don't have to go and seek for any position. But if the positions comes calling, you need to go and take it and make sure you deliver towards what they call you to come and do.
I see, Ismail, are we saying that we won't see Hajia at all because of the Islamic traditions over this period of the by-election even?
I'm saying she never wanted to become an MP. Her good deed led her for people to call her to come and lead us. I think if they give her the nod, she will deliver. And I want to state it. It is Islamically to also say, let's assume, if they are saying because she's in a waiting project, she can't contest. Islamically, they say if you are looking for a position, you should not be given the position. So that means those who want to come and contest should not be given the position, because Islamically it is against their calling. So I think we should put away this divergent views and make sure we will come together as one people. After she is elected as the parliamentary candidate, then we will go ahead and win the seat for NDC.
Very well. We'll leave it here. Thank you so much for talking to us. Ismail Abdulrazak, a special aide to Hajia Amina, who is a contender in the NDC parliamentary primary in the Ayawaso East constituency. She's running against three others, including former Akwetia MP Baba Jamal. Away from this. Pressure group Arise Ghana has suspended its indefinite picketing at the United States Embassy for 1 week, warning that it will resume in full force should the embassy fail to provide satisfactory assurances on the sooner return of former Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta. Christian Yale saw how it all began. Well, Christian, what is the demand of the U.S. Embassy?
Yes, so it's been 4 days of sustained advocacy and one single demand, which demand is the soonest return or extradition of Ken Ofori-Atta from the United States to Ghana. Arise Ghana and its picket have been at the U.S. Embassy over the past 4 days, making this strong call with numbers, loud music, and all that it requires to get the necessary attention. Now, on the first demand, they are asking authorities here inside this embassy to liaise with their counterpart abroad to ensure that all necessary diplomatic arrangements and protocols are undertaken to ensure the extradition of what they call in their own terms as deportation of Ken Ofori-Atta back into the country. Let's take a listen to Bernard Mona, the lead convener, when he was presenting that petition to the U.S. officials.
Ghana and the United States of America share a long-standing and cordial relationship founded on diplomatic values, good governance, mutual respect for sovereignty, and cooperation in matters of justice and institutional accountability. It is in this spirit of partnership and mutual respect that this petition is respectfully submitted, with the understanding that the facilitation of lawful processes strengthens public confidence in democratic institutions and reinforces international norms of accountability. Request for diplomatic assistance or guidance. We humbly request that the embassy, within the bounds of diplomatic mandate, and applicable international and domestic laws. Consider providing any assistance or guidance that may support efforts aimed at facilitating the return of Mr. Ken Ofori-Atta to Ghana to engage constructively with relevant state institutions.
Well, now, Christian, now that the protest has been suspended, what's next?
Yes, and so they have suspended their picket at the embassy for 1 week, just 1 week. Now, this is the caveat. They are saying that within this 1 week, they expect to get all the necessary assurances from the U.S. officials that they will liaise with their counterparts abroad to bring Ken Ofori-Atta back. Also, if they do not receive these assurances, Arise Ghana says it is going to resume this indefinite picketing of the embassy until they see Ken Ofori-Atta drop at the Kotoka International Airport. This is what Bernard Muna said.
We have resolved to temporarily suspend our intended indefinite picketing for a period of 1 week to allow time for a response to our concerns. Should there be no progress after this period, we reserve the right to resume the picketing until Mr. Ken Ofori-Atta is made available to the Ghanaian authorities, consistent with established precedents of cooperation between our two governments in facilitating the return of Ghanaian citizens to face lawful processes when requested by the United States. In conclusion, we respectfully reaffirm our highest consideration for the government and the people of the United States of America, and express our profound appreciation to the continued role of the United States in supporting democratic governance, accountability, and institutional integrity in Ghana.
Now, Christian, what did embassy officials who took the petition say?
Yes, interestingly enough, we did not get the official who received the petition utter any specific words. All that he said was thank you. And right after that, Arise Ghana protesters began to sing one of the popular patriotic songs, Arise Ghana Youth for Your Country. They say they are all getting involved to ensure accountability. They're all getting involved to ensure Ghana gets answers concerning the leadership and the management of Ghana's economy by the former finance minister, Ken Ofori-Atta. And so the protest has been suspended for now. We wait to see what will be the next action after the 10-day period should nothing come out.
Christian Yale there. Away from that, lives of members of the task force set up by the La Nkwantanan Medina Municipal Assembly to manage the Zango Junction area is in danger. In a space of a week, 2 of them have sustained knife cuts from pedestrians who resist attempts to drive them away from crossing the NG highway. The La Nkwantanan Medina Municipal Assembly deployed the task force and security personnel to the Medina Zango Junction to enforce the use of the footbridge. Connect now with George Queenan, who's following this story. George, what else can you tell us about this rather dangerous development?
Okay, Kamini, thank you so much. So I'm actually at the Medina Zango Junction, and the lives of these task force are in danger. But what they're saying is, even with that, they are still ready to do what they've been asked by the landmark to do. One guy is here with me. Yes, I'm Bayre. So Bayre is here with me. And he sustained this knife wound that was yesterday. And I want you to explain to me what really transpired. But you are live on TV3. What exactly happened?
What is going on here? We are with the rich market
we are with the drug addict people. So they are disturbing us here a lot. But we are ready to do the job. For Honorable Ibrahim Faila and His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. So we are ready to do any job here. If they disturb us, we will disturb them. So by yourself, Kevin, what exactly happened that day in that very day, the guy was here and he was very drunk. We don't know what he did. Go back. He said he will not go back, and we tried to force him back. And he brought a knife outside to get a new Senamaya next day. We'll try a crack. Yes, we are finding one channel. Yes, we are finding one channel because a Jumano happened for the Amaya and a Jumana, a Jumana, fine. The chair wasn't go down, so the go down. But as you drop one on the doors, because your get to see where I will go out for fun and go back or so by the Wamano. It works in his power. It's the end of Jumano and one is good to a no. So can we, a buyer is a victim, and one trader that I spoke to, for instance, says they should review this very directly because there are some special persons who are crippled and others, so they should just give them access to cross the N4. But that is also one person who is also a victim. 3 days ago, he sustained, knife wound. Please tell us on TV what really happened that day.
Yes, I was on duty when the guy wanted to cross, and my people told him, "Here, we don't cross this time. Use the full bridge." And he said, "No, you don't understand. We have crossed first speed, so they should allow him to cross the middle. Then he can go to the next speed." They said, "No, this is what is going on here. We are enforcing not anyone to cross, but there's Pragia who can go and join." He said, "No, he will not go anywhere." So he tried to force the officers and front. And I went there and I said, "Oh, please, this forcing that you want to force and cross, that's not the way. Since they said to go back, go back." So I tried to also touch him and tell him that he should go back. And he just, all of a sudden, something is sound like knife or what it is. Then he just used it and he cut my hand a little. Yes, I was able to make something, but I said, "No, I'm afraid that's not my duty. I just let him to go back." So we just try and let him go back. So that is the challenges over here that we are facing.
But you also mentioned that guns, some serious guns.
Yes, once they sometimes use gun attacks. Somebody, some of them, they are not safety attacks, we don't know. And sometimes we want to identify, we say, "Let's see your ID." You say you are on duty or you are on some operation. Then you see, he's asking us, "Why are we asking him ID?" I said, "Yes, it's operation. We don't allow woman watching. And you are also part of the woman. So since you are in operation, I think you are doing the same way with us. So we can see your ID to believe." Then you see, over the gun, he will show us that, "No, you have a gun and this thing like this." You can show a gun that, "Look, me." See, when you don't allow him, then he tell like giddy giddy. You see.
Well, George Queenan with that report from Madina Zongo Junction. Now we'll turn attention to something else because the U.S. has officially withdrawn from the WHO, leaving the UN agency without one of its biggest donors. Washington has traditionally been one of the biggest donors to the World Health Organization, but has not paid its fees for 2024 and 2025, which has already caused huge job losses at the organization. Although WHO lawyers suggest the U.S. is obliged to pay the arrears estimated at $260 million, Washington, on the other hand, said it saw no reason to do so. U.S. President Donald Trump signed an executive order signaling the withdrawal a year ago, having criticized the organization for being too China-centric during the COVID pandemic. The U.S. Department of Health and Human Services said it took the decision due to WHO's alleged mishandling of the pandemic and an inability to reform and political influence from member countries. We'll stay on this subject, have a quick chat with Professor Fred Binka, who's a clinical epidemiologist and chair of the Ghana Health Service Board. Prof, I appreciate your time this afternoon. Obviously, signs of this were seen a year ago. Now we know for sure the U.S. has withdrawn from the WHO. How does that come to you?
Yes. So thank you very much for having me, and greetings to your cherished.
Well, it would appear we do not have Prof yet. We'll fix that connection and have that quick chat with Professor Fred Binka, particularly also how this will impact public health in Ghana, but also in Africa generally. Remember that the U.S. officially leaving the World Health Organization means that lots of money is also going away. Already, the WHO says that the U.S. is in arrears of donations of some $260 million. The WHO is saying, look, Washington needs to pay for that, even if they're exiting the WHO. The U.S., on the other hand, says, well, we don't see need for that. We don't see reason we should pay, particularly when we're leaving. The impact of the signal to withdraw since a year ago has been seen in job losses, have been seen in withdrawal of certain important contributions to healthcare across the world. Professor Fred Binka is back. Let's try him again as we touch on the story a bit further. Prof, I was saying that, I mean, the signs have been there. Now we know for sure that the U.S. has withdrawn from the WHO. How does it come to you? How does it come to you?
Well, first of all, it's a real shame that they've done that. It will affect part of the work that we've been doing around the world. WHO has, USC has the funds to help in the surveillance systems across most of the countries. It also mans most of the big laboratories that are working on the pathogens. And so that sharing of resources to be able to track these pathogens is going to be affected a little bit. But what it has gone on to do is to pick a few countries like Ghana, Rwanda, and I think about 7 or 8 countries where it is trying to establish bilateral relations instead of the multilateral relations we had under the WHO. So my sense is that at the moment, the biggest impact it's going to have on us is the availability of reagents that allow us to identify the pathogens. It will also slow down the number of countries that are going to collect these pathogens, but we still have the African CDC and we have the WHO pact still in place. So it's not completely a disaster. I think the United States is going to bear the brunt because we now have a small village. Anything that happens in Ghana in a few hours will arrive in the US, and there's a need to share this information to protect our populations.
I see a year ago when the U.S. withdrew funding for HIV and AIDS programs, one of the things the president said was that it is time for us to live up to that vacuum that has been created. What should we be doing locally to ensure that we plug in what could be vacuum in funding that we may be losing from the U.S.?
So the first thing is that we are lucky we have a system that is already in existence, led by the Ghana Health Service, East Public Health Laboratories, Noguchi, KCCR in Kumasi, and now in Tamale, there's another group that is working on this. So the issue is that government now has to put in a budget that allows these groups to buy the required reagents so that they can be able to identify. We have the technology, we have the expertise, we can identify a lot of the new pathogens. What we need is to inject a little bit of money into it. Secondly, we also are writing grants. There are a couple of our colleagues who are joining a Pan-African network that is trying to collect these pathogens, to characterize them, and to share among ourselves. So it's not complete disaster. It's, yes, if we had more resources, we could do more. but we are not yet ready to throw our hands in the air. We'll still be safe, and we hope that America will find its way back into the multilateral fold.
I see. These individual relations it hopes to have with countries like Ghana, are you aware what is in this? There are those who have said that it is skewed for the benefit of the US rather than the benefit of countries like Ghana. What do you have to say to that?
Very true. I saw the first sign, but they were giving us very little money and telling us that the pathogens should be given to them permanently. Nobody signs that kind of agreement. The agreement was completely in favor of the United States, and I hope our ministry is not in a position to sign that. It will turn us into collectors of pathogens that we send to the US, and they have all the analytic power and the reagents to be able to do very much with it. But because we are a global village now, they need the pathogens from other parts of the world. But I think we are safe. Our system works. We just need the injection of capital to get the reagents, and we'll be okay.
Speaking of a global village, how is this likely to impact? I mean, zooming out of Ghana, how is this likely to impact global health across the world?
Well,
Oh, it appears we lost Prof again. But Prof, thank you so much for talking to us. Professor Fred Binka is a clinical epidemiologist and chair of the Ghana Health Service Board. We've just been discussing the withdrawal of the United States from the WHO, despite owing some $260 million in donations, if we can call it owing at all. But there are arrears to be paid. The WHO and the US are on different wavelengths as to, whether or not that money will be paid into the global health kitty. This is News Central. We'll be right back. Don't go away. Welcome back. Now, second prosecution witness, the victim in the alleged sexual harassment case at the Labone Senior High School, has told Dovsu Court that, among other things, her friend teacher, the accused, allegedly forcibly kissed her and a few other things. Godwin Adibli is standing trial on charges of indecent assault, but has pleaded not guilty and is on bail. Lord Iduasari reports.
A witness testimony admitted into evidence by the Domestic Violence and Victim Support District Court. The witness described her ordeal at the hands of the accused as a devastating experience. She told the court that the friend teacher who had earlier told her she was hiding from him asked her to send his bag to his office. She narrated that while there, he forcibly pulled her by the waist toward him, kissed her, and pushed her onto a mattress which was in the storeroom. She added that in an attempt to defend herself, she bit his manhood after he unbuckled his belt. During cross-examination by a lawyer for Godwin Adibli, represented by Ernest Besimete, the victim told the court that she did not immediately report the incident after it happened because she was writing her final exams. She eventually placed a call home around 10 p.m. When questioned why she did not shout for help or hold on to desks which were in the French lab when she was being dragged by the accused, she noted that the place was quiet as the adjacent buildings had been locked, adding that there were no classrooms or students around. She again noted that in her bids to defend herself, her hands were busy fending off the accused. During cross-examination of the first witness, the complainant admitted to the court that the medical report which was obtained after the incident indicated that the victim's hymen was intact. Asked why the reports indicated that the victim's outward appearance was normal despite an alleged assault, the complainant explained that he had, together with his wife, given the victim assurances that everything would be fine. The case has since been adjourned to January 29 for continuation.
Chief Justice Paul Bafuboni has called for a firm justice system that is also sensitive to the impact of trauma on people who appear before the courts. He was speaking at the launch of a digitized training curriculum on trauma-informed judicial practice aimed at strengthening justice delivery across the country.
For survivors of violence and human trafficking, the courtroom can become another site of trauma. Insensitive questioning, procedural delays, and limited awareness of trauma can leave victims re-traumatized during judicial proceedings. To address these challenges, the International Justice Mission, in partnership with the Judicial Training Institute, has launched a digitized trauma-informed judicial practice training curriculum. The initiative builds on trauma-informed training introduced in 2019, which reached more than 300 judges and judicial staff nationwide through in-person sessions. Chief Justice Paul Bafuboni says justice must go beyond procedure and consider the human experiences behind every case.
The courtroom is often the first sustained encounter with the justice system. That encounter can either affirm their trust in the rule of law or leave a lasting sense of fear, exclusion, and harm. When judicial processes unintentionally re-traumatize victims and witnesses, the effects are far-reaching. Participation is weakened, evidence is compromised, proceedings are delayed, and public confidence on injustice is eroded.
While impactful, organizers say the model faced challenges with sustainability and access. The digitized curriculum has now been integrated into the Judicial Training Institute's learning management system, allowing judges, magistrates, registrars, clerks, interpreters, and other court personnel to learn at their own pace.
Justice that does not injure the very people it is meant to protect. Across Ghanaian courts, especially in matters involving violence, sexual abuse, child trafficking, domestic violence and exploitation, survivors and vulnerable witnesses come to court carrying more than evidence. They come carrying trauma, experiences of fear, coercion, social stigma, betrayal, and profound loss of control. And when the justice process is slow, intimidating, or insensitive, it can unintentionally further harm the victims, both mentally, emotionally, and in some instances, physically. Therefore, this matter concerns truth-finding, fairness, and confidence in the rule of law.
In a bid to improve students' health and nutrition, some schools in the Upper East region have introduced fortified rice into their meals. With support from the World Food Programme, the initiative aims to address micronutrient deficiencies among school children, particularly in rural communities, to enhance learning outcomes. Upper East region correspondent Castro Senyala has more.
At schools in parts of the Upper East region, a quiet but impactful intervention is taking place, one meal at a time. The World Food Programme, with funding from DSM Femnich, the Foreign, Commonwealth and Development Office, and in collaboration with government partners, has introduced fortified rice into meals in selected schools. The initiative is being implemented in partnership with the Ghana School Feeding Programme, the Ghana Education Service, the Food and Drugs Authority, and the Ghana Health Service. The initiative targets micronutrient deficiencies among school-aged children, particularly in communities where rice is a staple food. Through the addition of essential vitamins and minerals, the fortified rice aims to improve students' health, boost school attendance, and enhance learning outcomes. The Bolgatanga Boku Navrongo Farmers Cooperative Union Limited, located at Bogorogo in the Bongo district, is playing a critical role in this program. The cooperative has received and installed rice fortification equipment supplied by the World Food Programme as part of a broader investment in local production capacity. The equipment enables local millers to blend fortified rice kernels with locally produced rice, ensuring a sustainable supply chain rooted in community participation.
When this project, the fortification project, came in through WFP, we are able to produce all year round. That one alone has helped the women to improve their income level.
In the Anafubisi community, the Lilungu Asongtaba Women Group is also a key actor in the value chain. The group parboils rice, which is then purchased by the Bolgatanga Boku Navrongo Cooperative for fortification and onward distribution to schools. For these women, the program is not only improving child nutrition, but also creating economic opportunities and strengthening livelihoods.
The time we were doing the farming, we were facing challenges about our children's fees and then ingredients to cook even in the house. But since we started the rice parboiling, it has helped us, because with that one, when we do it and the normal came to buy, it even help our children's school fees and then
The fortified rice eventually finds its way into school kitchens. Under the pilot phase, more than 157,000 students in public schools are being targeted nationwide, with additional reach in low-fee paying private schools in deprived communities across northern Ghana. The Our Lady of Lourdes School in Navrongo is one of the beneficiaries of the World Food Programme intervention.
I used to have itching eyes, but these days, no, it's gone because of the fortified rice. Since we started eating it, it's very good. You can even store some from afternoon to evening and still take it.
Beyond nutrition, the World Food Programme is also supporting systems that enhance accountability, including digital reporting platforms, school implementation committees, and expanded networks of trained food retailers. Castro Sinyala, TV3 News, Upper East Region.
We'll be right back with more news. Don't go away. The Member of Parliament for Ahanta West constituency, Mavis Kukua Boateng, has facilitated the validation of the Ahanta language orthography for teaching and learning. This follows a sustained effort by the parliamentarian to establish a committee to develop a curriculum for the language, paving way for Ahanta to be examined at both BECE and WASI levels.
The Bureau of Ghana Languages officially approved the teaching and learning of the Ahanta language in basic and secondary schools after endorsing a newly developed orthography, which the Bureau says meets all required standards. The approval marks a major milestone as it clears the path for the Ahanta language to be examined at both the Basic Education Certificate Examination BECE and the West African Senior School Certificate Examination WASI. Speaking at a press conference, the Member of Parliament for Ahanta West, Mavis Kukua Bisu, who spearheaded the development, explained the motivation behind the initiative.
On the 2nd of June 2025, I read a statement on the floor of Parliament calling on the government and the honourable members of the House to ensure that Ghanaian languages such as Ayinda and others form part of our educational curriculum. Today, that call has become a reality. I'm equally grateful to our revered chiefs, queen mothers, and elders of our Ahanta land for their steadfast guardianship of our traditions and identity.
She also expressed her excitement at fulfilling a key campaign promise.
The approval of the Ayinda orthography and its certification for teaching and examination marks a major policy and educational milestone. It formally adds Ayinda to the family of Ghanaian languages taught within our schools, opening pathways for academic development, teacher training, curriculum expansion, and employment creation. Let it be formally placed on record that today, 22nd January 2026, during my tenure as a Member of Parliament for Ahanta West, the Ahanta language, Ayinda orthography, has been officially approved and will be integrated into Ghana's educational curriculum.
The validated orthography was officially presented to the MP by the Acting Executive Director of the Bureau of Ghana Languages, Ebenezer Ahiato.
The endorsement of the Ahanta language orthography marks a major achievement in our mission to develop and standardize the written form of the Ghanaian languages. This accomplishment is a testament to the tireless effort of the Honorable Mavis Kukua Bisu, who has been a champion for the promotion, not only a champion of her language, but Ghanaian languages. This milestone is a call to action for all Ghanaians to embrace our local languages and cultures.
Sharing her personal experience, Mavis Kukua Bisu recounted her difficulty in speaking Ahanta fluently despite being born to Ahanta parents, and urged Ghanaians to support efforts aimed at developing orthographies for other endangered indigenous languages. Nura Mohammed, TV3 News, Accra.
The Accra Metropolitan Assembly will embark on a decongestion exercise starting February 1st in selected parts of the capital city. This forms part of efforts to make Accra cleaner and restore order on our streets.
This will not be the first time the Accra Metropolitan Assembly embarks on a decongestion exercise. Previous attempts have failed due to lack of enforcement by the Assembly. Greater Accra Regional Minister Linda Oklu, addressing the media, said the Christmas festivities provided enough grace period for traders to sell their wares.
The reasons why we were relaxed is because, traders, some went for loans to buy their staff so that they'll be able to sell and get some profit to take care of the house. And so that is why we were a little bit slow on them. But this time around, Christmas is over, and I believe whatever they bought has been sold. We'll be going to Collect Lotte, Ayawaso Central, Tudu, Ablekuba Central, in fact, cut across, not only for AME. Collect Lotte is part, and other districts is also part. Nowadays, we've been relaxed, and in fact, they are destroying and looks as if Greater Accra has been neglected. And so we want to bring back its beauty.
The Accra Metropolitan Chief Executive, Michael Papo Alute, said this decongestion exercise will be sustained.
They should all listen to what we are saying. This is the first time that we are having a decongestion that we make a red line. We have a red line for you to sell behind the line. That shows that we understand their trade. We understand that not everybody can have money to rent a shop. We are building affordable shops that will be ready soon. They should observe the red line, and everybody will be happy in Accra. We are ready with the police are ready, the fire service is ready, immigration is ready, everybody is ready.
Traders are being advised to keep off pedestrian walkways, footbridges, and other red line zones which will be marked as no trading areas once the decongestion begins.
That'll be all this hour. Thank you so much for your company. I'm Kemini Amano. News Central returns on Monday. Bye-bye.